My name is John Della Volpe. I am the Director of Polling at the Harvard Kennedy School Institute of Politics.
Thank you so much for chatting with us today. I'm so inspired by your work and just everything that you're doing, and your insights on Gen Z is so interesting. I know you've been described as a Gen Z whisperer. It's just a very relevant topic given how close the election is. What are you currently hearing right now?
I spent the last couple of nights conducting focus groups of young people across the country, men and women, people who are independent and not sure if they're going to vote and not sure who they're going to vote for. And one of the things I was struck by is how real their struggle is, right? And that the idea of just trying to make it through the day is something that is on the forefront of their mind. I think it's really important in the closing weeks of this election that not only do I hear them, but that Donald Trump and Kamala Harris also hear them.
What do you think is special about the way that you ask Gen Z questions that they're more willing to share with you? Because I know some Gen Z are more reluctant to share their opinions or they feel uncomfortable. So what do you think are good tactics to get people to share their opinions?
That's a terrific question. And one of the best parts about my job is whenever I'm done having a conversation with people, whether it's in a town hall, or in a more intimate focus group setting, at the end I always ask them, would you do this again? And virtually everyone says, when can I do it again? That they really feel kind of empowered and more in touch. So the way in which I do that, I kind of developed it over the years, and I don't talk a lot about politics necessarily. I talk about what makes you happy, right? What's a good day? And oftentimes a good day, young Gen Z would say, when you can check off the things on your checklist, or when you can connect with family, or when you can take a walk outside and get some fresh air or some sun. The simple things, right? And then I ask, what are some of the things that keep you up at night? Right, and that's when I hear those concerns, right, about potentially being homeless one day, those sorts of things, right. So I think if you approach Gen Zers in that respect, you listen to them, right. You truly listen. You respect their kind of perspective and their points of view, and then you can help them connect some of the dots between the things that concern them and how, in my view, governments, and politics can help alleviate some of those concerns.
Yeah, I heard your interview on The Daily Show that you said that your first three questions are, what's your name, where are you from, and what's the best part of your day, or what keeps you up at night. So I was thinking to actually start the interview with that.
That would have been good. No one's ever asked me those things.
Really?
So.
Well, I'll ask you now. What is the best part of your day today?
Being here and listening to people, honestly, right? It's, it's a couple hours down here, a couple hours back. I was working on the train, and working back, going back to Boston, but I truly kind of enjoy listening and spending time with young people. I have to. It just keeps me so hopeful.
And what's something that keeps you up at night, Austin?
My kids and their safety, right? I have 3 kids, 2 in their 20s and 1 now, just turned 30 yesterday, actually, 2 days ago, Tuesday. And my oldest daughter was a school teacher, and I never would have thought that I would be stressed about her safety being a school teacher.
I know that polling in the past might have been wrong, so why should we trust polls now, and should we follow polls? Should Gen Z follow polls?
There are some polls, I think, that you should follow, and let's take one step back, which is polls, I think that the use of polls and people who are considered pollsters, the more kind of famous or celebrities within our business aren't pollsters. Like Nate Silver, not a pollster, right? He's an analyst, as an example. So what I think about polling is to kind of give voice to people, adults, voters, younger people, give the perspective of why they're making the choices that they seem to be making.
And how can we get Gen Z more active and engaged to get involved in the political process and vote in this election?
My favorite question, one of the most important questions I think all of us should be thinking about. I think there's 2 groups of young people that need some additional motivation. Okay, there's about 15, maybe 20% of young people who will vote regardless. Civic-minded, they vote, their friends vote. We don't have to worry about that group. But there's about 50% of young Americans who are on the fence. Okay, but those groups don't necessarily share the same barriers. One group has basic questions about voting, right? They want to be taught. I call them the teach me group. They've got questions about the electoral college, about absentee voting, about which party, protects reproductive health care, which party wants to limit it. Basic questions that I think they're intimidated to ask, and the degree to which we can help them feel comfortable asking those questions and helping them through the process, that is going to help on one hand. Then there's another group of voters I call show me voters. And those voters might have voted last time, but they're not able to see that it actually made a difference. They look at their life on a day-to-day basis, see the struggles, and they're not aware that perhaps if you voted for Biden in 2020, that because of that, you have the first African-American female in the Supreme Court. Because of that, you have the largest climate package ever created, or bipartisan gun violence prevention, or $170 billion in student debt relief. And you want to be shown that voting can make a tangible difference. And if we can help them see that, they're much more likely to tune in and to turn out in November.
What is something, like one phrase you would want to say to Gen Z or Gen Z to take away from your talk tonight?
To appreciate that we live in a better country because of their participation so far. That I don't want to put, there's a lot going on, I don't want to put too much pressure, but Gen Z is remarkable. They're doing things that no other generation has done at their age or at your age. And I hope that's what Gen Z takes away from this, that they've got more power than they think, they've made a greater difference than they appreciate, and I hope, frankly, that the older members of the group hear the same thing, right? And can appreciate the unique perspective that your generation has had.